Breaking news shaking up the entire rap game. A letter allegedly written by King Von has surfaced. And what's inside? It got fans questioning everything they thought they knew about Lil Durk, OTEF, and the days leading up to Von's death. According to a now-deleted Reddit post, the handwritten letter, reportedly dated just weeks before Von was killed, was found tucked inside a Bible at his aunt's home in Atlanta. The contents? Full of warnings, names, and a chilling final message that's got the whole internet saying one thing. Durk lied. We ain't talking subliminals or vague bars. This is raw, emotional, direct. And if it's real, it could blow the lid off one of hip-hop's most sensitive and unsolved narratives. Screenshots have already leaked. Fans are reposting, decoding and drawing lines between Von's lyrics, his last interviews, and now. This hidden goodbye. Is it a cry for help, a set-up confession, or a final attempt to expose the people he no longer trusted? And Durk's silence, louder than ever. One thing's for sure, this ain't just a rumor, this is legacy altering. And when we break it all down, you'll understand why fans are divided, the family's going off, and why this letter might change rap history forever. Alright, here's part one of the main body for your sensationalized, emotional and messy rap expose script based on the title. Hidden letter from King Von surfaces. Fans say Lil Durk lied. This part is a prox. 1,200 words and written in the same raw, viral storytelling style as, say, Cheese TVX, Candidly Cassie, with emotional tension, character conflict, fake receipts, and shocking twists. It all started on a regular Sunday. Quiet, calm, just another day scrolling through timelines, until a now-deleted Reddit thread dropped a screenshot that would send shockwaves through the entire rap community. Hidden letter from King Von discovered in family home, the post read. No context, no caption, just a blurry image of what looked like a folded piece of lined notebook paper. Signed at the bottom, Davon. Within minutes, Twitter was in flames. Fans started zooming in, reposting, enhancing the photo. The handwriting looked familiar. Some matched it up with old court docs and autographs. This Von's pen for R? Others were skeptical. Until Von's own Aunt Pookie stepped in. On her private Facebook account, she confirmed it. Yes, it's real. Yes, we found it. And no, I'm not staying quiet anymore. Just like that, everything shifted. But what was in the letter, and why was it hidden? Let's break it down, because what's in those paragraphs has the internet questioning everything Lil Durk ever said after Von passed. The letter, which fans now call the Von Truth Note, was reportedly discovered by Von's younger cousin while cleaning out his aunt's home in Atlanta, stuffed between the pages of an old leather Bible, folded up so tight it looked like it hadn't seen daylight in years. At first, they thought it was just a lyric sheet Von used to scribble bars on napkins, receipts, even grocery bags. But once they unfolded it, the mood changed instantly. The note was personal, raw, emotional. He wasn't writing for music. He was writing for himself, and most importantly, he was writing warnings. In one of the most quoted sections, Von wrote, "I don't trust how folks moving around me. It's all eyes and smiles, but no love. I see the way they switch when money come around. When I ain't here, they gon' act like they was with me." But they wasn't. Fans immediately connected that line to a 2021 interview where Lil Durk said, "Von knew we was locked in. We had each other, but now, people asking, did he? Because another section hit even harder. I'm building something for my own. They think I'm dumb, but I know the game. I got plans that don't involve everybody. And when I leave, I know who's gonna try to stop me." That's the line that lit the match. TikTok was full of fan theories within hours. He was about to cut ties with OTF. Von was planning to go solo. Durk knew and panicked. This why they never released his masters. A video breakdown with over 2 million views showed an old clip of Von saying on IG Live, "I got some new business shat coming, but I ain't telling nobody till it's done." In the background, a voice off camera said, "Don't do too much." Fans are now convinced that voice belonged to Durk. But the wildest part? The last line of the letter. "If anything happened to me, don't let them cry fake tears. Remember what I said." Signed, Davon B. That line alone sent chills through every corner of the culture. Artists reposted it. Bloggers ran with it. And fans, they weren't playing. Durk got some explaining to do. All that loyalty talk don't hit the same no more. But Durk, silent. Not a single response. Not a tweet, not a post, not even a sub. And that silence? Fans are calling it guilt. But wait, it gets deeper. Von's sister, Kayla, who's always kept it 10 toes, posted a vague tweet just a few hours after the letter went viral. She wrote, "He told us everything. We just stayed quiet." That tweet alone got over 80,000 likes in 24 hours. But it didn't stop there. Asian Doll, who had a very public and very emotional relationship with Von, went live on Instagram and said this: "Y'all really think I ain't know what was going on? I just didn't speak because it wasn't safe. But now it's different." This letter ain't shocking to me. It's confirmation. She didn't mention Durk by name, but she didn't have to. The fans knew who she was talking about. Comment sections flooded instantly. She talking about Durk, so he knew Von was planning to go solo. This not a conspiracy anymore. It's a cover-up. And then came the twist. A leaked DM, allegedly between one of Von's old managers and an anonymous burner account, was posted to a fan page. In it, the manager writes, Von, was planning a label, was going to announce it in 2021. Some folks didn't like that idea. Told him to stay under the umbrella. He wasn't having it. Fans decoded umbrella to mean OTF and started dragging every interview Durk gave about Von's death. One fan tweeted, "Funny how Durk cried on camera but didn't drop no tribute album. Didn't even fight for his name when folks was clowning him." Another wrote, "Von was his ticket. Once Von died, Durk went full mainstream." Emotions ran high. The family was left divided, some members defending Durk, others starting to repost cryptic messages about truth always coming to light. And then it got real messy. Now deleted. Iggy's story from someone claiming to be part of OTF's internal team showed a screenshot of Durk's private group chat with a message saying, "Kill that letter story before it spreads too far. Find out who leaked it." We can't confirm if the screenshot was real, but it was enough to make fans believe it. He trying to bury Von's truth. So this how OTF move when the camera's off. The pressure built fast. Blogs ran with the title, "Hidden Letter Proves Von was pulling away from OTF." Some claimed Durk never owned Von's masters, that the split was in progress, but Von's passing locked the contract permanently. Others said Von was about to expose bad business, and the letter was just the tip of the iceberg. So now we got to ask the question that's sitting in everyone's mind. Did Lil Durk lie about how close he and Von really were? Because if this letter is real, then everything we've been told might have been just a carefully crafted illusion. And if it's not, why hasn't Durk said anything to clear it up? But just wait, because somebody else comes forward. And this time, it's from inside the label, and what they reveal. It makes the letter look like just the beginning. So while the letter continued to dominate headlines, something strange happened behind the scenes. An anonymous page popped up on Twitter. The handle? Inside OTF Backup. No followers, no bio. But the first post? Pure fire. I've been silent too long. Everything in that letter is real. And I got more. Boom, fans jumped on it instantly. Within an hour, the page had over 10K followers. People were reposting, quoting, tagging big blog pages. And then came the real drop. A photo, grainy, clearly taken in secret, showing a group of OTF members in what looked like a studio lounge. Circled in red, Moose, Durk's longtime right-hand man and alleged enforcer, and sitting beside him, someone who fans claim is Von's old manager. The caption on the photo said, "They knew he was leaving, and they knew too much was at stake." Another tweet, but the most shocking moment came when an actual former OTF engineer went on live and backed it all up. His name's Tyree, and although he was never a public figure, his name shows up in credits on multiple OTF records from 2018 to 2020. And what he said? It had everybody stunned. "Look, I ain't here to play sides. I worked with Von. I worked with Durk. I seen both sides. And what I'm gonna say is this. Von was trying to move smart, get his paper right, get his people right. But he started noticing his checks didn't match his streams. He sipped water, then looked dead at the camera. He talked about leaving the label more than once. But every time he brought it up, there was tension. Real tension. Folks didn't want to lose the golden goose. The comments went crazy. He calling Von the golden goose. Durk didn't want to lose him, so they blocked him in. This industry dirty af. But Tyree wasn't done. I remember one night in the studio, Von got a call and stepped out. When he came back, he ain't say much. Just looked at me and said, "They watching me now." I asked who. He just shook his head. Then came the biggest twist. Tyree claimed that days before Von flew to Atlanta for what would be his final days, he was in meetings about launching a new label, not under OTF, but completely separate, backed by a major distribution company in LA. He had a whole rollout planned, Tyree said. New merch, new artists from the city he wanted to sign. He was trying to boss up for real. And apparently, that's when the vibe around him changed. He said Von started getting watched. People tracking his moves, popping up unannounced at his spots, asking him indirect questions about his plans. He felt like he was being boxed in, like folks was trying to trap him in contracts he didn't agree to. And then, Tyree dropped the mic. He told me straight up, "If anything happened to me, don't let them act like they was my brothers." That line sent the internet into meltdown because it matched exactly what was written in the leaked letter. So now, fans started treating that letter like a will, a final statement from a man who felt like his time was running out. And while all this was playing out, Durk, still quiet, no statement, no tweets, nothing but a single Instagram story. A black screen with 3 words, "God knows all." And that made things worse. Because instead of silencing the rumors, it just gave them more energy. He hiding behind God now? Say Von name then. Silence his guilt. Fans started unfollowing. Influencers who used to defend Durk began stepping back. The entire tone of the internet shifted. But there was one more person who came forward. And her voice changed everything. Von's cousin Renee, who's kept a low profile all these years, posted a TikTok where she held up a printed copy of the letter and said, "This wasn't fake. I saw this letter in Auntie's hands. Von wrote this for a reason. And that reason wasn't no clout." She didn't say much else, but that was enough. Because Renee, she don't talk. She ain't one of the loud cousins. The moment she said it was real, folks believed her, and suddenly, the narrative flipped. This wasn't just about music. This wasn't about old beef. This was about truth, family, betrayal, silence, and the cost of legacy, and the question hanging over everything. What did Durk really know? And when? Because if Von was trying to leave, and if people close to him were warning, he felt watched. And if his own handwriting warned us not to trust the smiles around him, then fans want to know who was really behind Von's final chapter. And if the letter was part 1, what else is still hidden? Because in a lost voicemail surfaces, and the voice on the other end, it might just be Von himself, saying more than anyone expected, ready to hear Von's lost words. Just say part 3 Shurukaro and I'll drop the next. 1,200 words. Where just when fans thought they had heard everything, just when the theories about Von's letter were hitting peak levels, another curveball dropped that blew the lid clean off the entire situation. An unreleased voicemail, allegedly left by Von days before his death, began circulating in a private Telegram channel dedicated to Truth for Von leaks. The title of the clip, "He ain't who you think he is." At first, people thought it was fake, some AI-generated clout-chasing nonsense. But then the audio hit TikTok, raw, unedited, muffled with background noise. And as soon as Von's unmistakable voice came through the speaker, "Aye, it's me. I don't got long to talk, but I need to say this." Fans froze. The voice was calm but low-key nervous, not like the confident, laughing Von we saw on live. This Von sounded tired, maybe even scared. "I can't say names, not over the phone. Just know it's people I thought was family. They not. Everybody smiling in my face but plotting behind my back." He paused for a few seconds, then added, "They watching what I do, tracking my moves. Somebody told me not to trust nobody with a chain on." That line right there? Don't trust nobody with a chain on. It sent fans into frenzy, because everybody knows Von surrounded himself with iced out folks, OTF, close friends, even security. But now people think he was speaking about Durk without ever saying it. The voicemail continued. "I got plans. I'm building something real, for my people, for my mama. I just gotta get out the deals first. They locked me in weird paperwork. Lawyers looking at it now." Again, he never says names, but the dots, they connecting themselves. One fan made a breakdown video comparing that line to a known interview Durk did in early 2021, where he said, "We made sure Von was taken care of, label-wise. Everything was structured." Now fans are like, structured or controlled? The voicemail ends on an eerie note. "If anything go left, remember I ain't go out dumb. I was figuring it out. Don't let nobody write my story for me. Click. End of message." The original voicemail audio was taken down in less than 24 hours, flagged for copyright and privacy by a rights management team. But by then, it was already everywhere. Screenshots, reactions, TikToks of people crying, others angry, some confused. The debate turned nuclear. Von was crying for help. He knew he was in danger. Durk let this man drown. And then came another layer. DJ Academics, who had been quiet throughout most of the letter drama, posted on his alt account. Been hearing the voicemail is legit. Insiders confirming the voice. It's not AI. Fans already believed it, but now it was real. And with AK speaking on it, blogs started treating it like verified gospel. But it wasn't just fans reacting. Von's old friend from Chicago, Boss Top, who's had an on and off relationship with OTF since Von passed, went live on Instagram with a heavy look on his face. I ain't gonna speak too much, but what y'all hearing? That boy had a plan. Y'all just now seeing it. I seen it back then. Someone in the comments asked, Durk knew? Boss Top just looked at the screen, shook his head slowly, and said, y'all ask him. That clip went viral in minutes, and the more people stayed quiet, the louder the conspiracy grew. Why wasn't anyone from OTF defending themselves? Why hadn't Durk posted anything about the letter or the voicemail? And why were key OTF pages suddenly going private or deleting old posts of Von? Some fans even discovered that OTF's official page had unfollowed Von's sister Kayla shortly after she tweeted that cryptic, "He told us everything." Post.coincidence. Maybe, but in the middle of all this, everything looks intentional, and then, just when things couldn't get any wilder, an email leak surfaced. Yup. A full-on email exchange between what looked like a legal rep for Von's estate and a third-party distribution company, discussing the transfer of Von's unreleased catalogue. The emails, allegedly from January 2021, showed that there was confusion over who actually owned the rights to Von's unreleased tracks. One email read, "We've received conflicting claims from OTF and Von's estate. Both parties are asserting ownership." This confirmed what fans feared. Von didn't leave this world with everything settled. And now, two sides were fighting over who had the final say on his music, his family or his former label. And who leads that label? Durk. It's not hard math. Suddenly, fans started dragging everything. How you say he was your brother, but don't let his mama control his catalogue? You eating off his name and his own blood gotta ask for permission? Von tried to leave, and now he's locked in forever. And the drama went mainstream. The Shade Room, No Jumper, Hip Hop Dex, all of them running stories now. Not just about the letter, but the voicemail, the emails, the silence. And in all of this, Durk still said nothing. But the energy, it was different. Fans weren't just speculating anymore. They were grieving all over again. Not just the loss of Von the rapper, but Von the man. The man who, according to his own words, knew he was surrounded by snakes. The man who tried to write his own escape. In letters, in voicemails, in meetings behind closed doors. But who maybe ran out of time before he could finish what he started. So now the question ain't just, what happened to Von? It's who's been controlling his story ever since, and what else might still be hidden. Because in the final chapter, we're gonna look at Von's family's next move, a surprise court motion, and a leaked cease and desist that suggests someone's trying hard to bury the truth. But this time, they might not be able to stop it. While the voicemail was still echoing across TikTok, Instagram, and hip-hop Twitter, a screenshot hit the blogs that nobody saw coming. It was a legal document, a cease and desist letter, allegedly sent by OTF's legal team to a podcast host who planned to air an episode titled Von's Legacy, Family vs. Label. The letter was short but cold. Family vs. Label. The letter was short but cold. One blogger tweeted, "You only try to silence folks when the truth starts stinging." And then, boom, Kayla B, Von's sister, posted something nobody expected. A full video, shaky, filmed in a car, where she held up a printed photo of the letter, a screenshot of the voicemail transcription, and said this, "I ain't no lawyer, I ain't in the music business. I'm just his sister, but y'all not finna keep acting like we dumb. We know what he said. We know what he meant. And guess what? We not letting nobody rewrite his legacy." Her voice cracked. Her eyes got glassy, but she held her tone firm. "Stop playing with my brother's name. Stop hiding behind lawyers. Speak up, or shut up forever." the internet exploded. Speak von Struth started trending on X, formerly Twitter. Fans started posting old interviews, IG Lives, even screenshots from Von's FBG Duck Beef days, trying to piece together any moment where Von might have dropped clues about who he really trusted and who he didn't. But the biggest moment came offline, because while the digital smoke was burning hot, Von's mum, Tasha, quietly filed a court motion in Cook County, seeking full control of Von's music, branding, and estate decisions, independent of OTF's claim, and the documents. They referenced the letter, we're talking real court paperwork now, stating that, recently uncovered, writings from Mr. Bennett suggest his final intentions were not aligned with his contractual arrangements. Translation: they using Von's own words to take his legacy back. And while no verdict has been made yet, just the filing was enough to rattle the entire industry. Because if this moves forward, if the judge sides with the family, every single posthumous Von release could be stopped, reviewed, or pulled. Suddenly, the money at stake wasn't small. And guess who hasn't dropped a Von tribute album? Guess who never did an OTFX Von tribute concert? Guess who only posted twice about Von since 2022? Fans did the math, and it ain't hard to figure out who they're pointing at. But right when people thought the drama was about to hit the courtroom and explode, Durk finally made a move, not with a statement, not with a press release. He dropped a single, a surprise song on YouTube, no promo, titled simply, What It Cost. Cover art. A photo of Durk and Von from 2018, back when things were all smiles. The lyrics, oh, they had people shaking. I lost my bro. But the internet lost their mind, trying to build rumors off pain, like I crossed the line, never signed him to trap him. We was both on grind if he felt some type of way. He ain't tell me in time. Fans were torn. Some said he was defending himself finally. Others said he was dodging the real questions. Comments under the video split down the middle. Nah, he deflecting. He still ain't addressed the letter. Okay, this real. This the most honest we heard him in years. Too little, too late. The family already exposing you. But what really caught fire was one specific bar. They're using his name for clout, and I stayed low. I ain't have to post my tears. I let pain grow. Some saw it as shots at Kayla and Asian Doll. Others said he was talking about the fans. Either way, the song only added more tension. And then came the final twist. One of Von's oldest friends, a dude named Rico, who ain't never been in the spotlight, posted a video from inside Von's first recording spot in Chicago. In the clip, he held up a faded OTF hoodie Von gave him back in 2017 and said, "He wore this the day he told me, I love my names, but I ain't no fool. I'm building my own lane." Rico didn't name drop, didn't say nothing disrespectful, but his energy, pure pain, and his caption? He said it before the world saw it. Now you're finally listening. And maybe that's the saddest part of all this. Von left hints, letters, calls, convos, but nobody heard him until it was too late, until it was louder than the music. And now, the question ain't just about Durk, it's about the whole industry. How many artists are being told they family, when really, they assets? How many are dying with secrets buried deeper than their catalogs? And how many fans are finally realizing the truth don't come from interviews. It comes from the moments they don't post, the tears they don't cry on live, the contracts they don't show. Because the letter, the voicemail, the silence, it all tells a story. One that maybe Von never got to finish. But the streets, they picking up the pen,